Let's hope that this patient is soon in good shape again, like Doris, whom, as you've seen, is happy and cheerful and back at work.
Rather Doris than me. It seems that by zapping a few neurons you can trigger anything from the sound of music to the taste of mashed potato. Luckily the investigations of my own brain are only scratching the surface.
Underneath this movement area, the nerves flow down into the deeper bit of the brain.
Yeah.
And part of the movement is integrated by the little brain, or the cerebellum, which is at the back here.
Yeah.
And that's also very important in integrating movement.
Is that a reptile brain?
No, the reptile brain is deep underneath. If I were to put my pencil through here,
Yeah.
I'd have to draw a line inside the cortex.
Yeah.
That includes the sense of smell. The nerves for the sense of smell come right down here through the
And the one like the
bone.
reptile brain is like a remnant of what man had when he was reptilian.
Oh yes, it's like a crocodile brain.
Right.
And because
What,
reptiles...
then there's a kind of monkey brain after that, is there?
Yeah, your brain develops in the same way as evolution has developed. So the deepest, oldest bits,
Yeah.
like the reptile brain, have a lot of the sensation like smell is associated with those, because reptiles use their sense of smell a lot.
Is that the oldest one? Or is
That's
there
the
got
oldest bit, yeah.
Fish one under there.
No. You've got some fish bits in your neck, but your brain is mostly reptile.
What are the fish bits in my neck?
As you form, there are arches in your neck which are like the gills of a fish, and then they close over and become the normal muscles of your neck, because you're a mammal and you've evolved. In this motor area down here, there's a bit that controls your speech, the bit that's sometimes lost in a stroke. The things that you don't think about are controlled down here in the brain stem. That's things like breathing and keeping your heart going at the right rate, things like that, which you don't actually have to consciously remember to do all the time. They're done automatically.
So, I mean, if we go back thousands of years, then I was just this
That bit.
reptile.
Yeah, just the bit.
Without any bothers, really, but...
That's right, just the brain stem, and then the little bit that you smell with. That's
and then I'd stop being in the water so much.
Yep.
My blood got a bit warmer.
You dried out.
And kaboom!
Blimey, I'm like a walking Noah's Ark. I'm off to see a psychiatrist, Dr. Anthony Stevens. I wonder whether he'd think the human psyche is like the contents of a pet shop.
I mean, the human psyche has taken all this time to evolve, this slow, lumbering process through reptilian brains, mammalian brains, ape brains, to us. And we've carried with us all that kind of potential experience.
Yeah.
You know, it's often said by analysts that when a patient walks into the room and talks to you, she brings a whole crowd of people with her.
Yeah.
And it's true, she does.
Yeah.
But what until recently we hadn't realised is that she brings in a horse and a crocodile as well.
Which is worse than I thought. But why did consciousness evolve in my brain? What is it there for? Even that highly evolved brain Richard Dawkins is haunted by this question.
I mean, I know I'm conscious, but I don't know you're conscious, and vice versa. I guess that you're conscious because you're obviously the same kind of thing as I am, and you've come into the world by the same kind of process as I have. And so that's how I'm absolutely confident that you're conscious. And it's the same kind of reasoning that I would use for, say, chimpanzees, or dogs, or kangaroos. But equally, I know that there are other kinds of animals which I would bet almost certainly are not conscious.
Like what?
I don't want to be snobbish and name them. I mean, I'd rather say that the process of evolution took a very long time, and I'm absolutely sure consciousness wasn't there at the start, and so consciousness probably...
Consciousness was not there at the start.
I'd be very surprised if it was.
It's crept in.
Yes.
By what...
Everything creeps in. That's what evolution's about. Evolution is all about things creeping in.
By some
gradually.
chance conjunction of fluids.
By the normal process of evolution, something like the normal process of evolution. Now, I'm not going to be...
Gave us and chimpanzees and dogs.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be bullied into saying which animals are conscious and which are not. What I will say is that I'm quite sure that the first bacteria, which are our universal ancestors, were not conscious. And I'm quite sure that we are.
I couldn't persuade Dawkins to separate the sheep from the goats. Perhaps the keepers at London Zoo will be more prepared to stick their necks out.
Yeah, I know.
Frank Wheeler looks after the Saki monkeys.
These guys really, they know who they are, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yeah, yeah. You get into much smarter range of animals with the monkeys. They've got very highly complex brains. They feel fear, they feel pain, they feel loss if they lose a baby.
They fall in love.
Well, this type of monkey pair bond, they live all their life as a pair. So yes, a lot of their emotions you can mirror to human emotions.
Frank had convinced me his monkeys were conscious. But how would Esther Wenman fare in her defence of Herbert's colourful personality?
Is that thing conscious in the way that you are?
Well, no. I mean, they're not going to have the range of emotions that we as humans have. They're not going to have the range of thought processes and decision-making abilities.
No. Do they make decisions, though?
Yeah, they make decisions. Yeah, they make a lot of decisions.
Like, it could do this, it could do that, and sadly, it made the wrong decision, but it's not kind of programmed in.
No.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, there is an element of risk and an element of mistake-making, I'm sure.
Then you reckon he knows I'm here?
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But does he really know I'm here? Does he know he knows I'm here?
Yeah, he does.
There's no sense, surely, in which any of these ants know that we're looking at them, do they?
Certainly not looking at them. They will react really quickly if there's any kind of interaction with them.
Well, do you think that they feel pain? Actually feel it?
They experience pain.
This was going to test Paul Kelly's loyalty to his little friends.
Again, that's a difficult thing to answer. I think to a degree you can say that they will vigorously react to vigorous stimuli, be it squashing or whatever.
Yeah. You know those ones where the missus eats the husband?
Yes.
After they've had it off?
Yeah, with the mantids and things.
Yes. There was another sort over there, I can't think what it was. Yeah. Yeah, does the husband mind, do you think?
That's what they are instinctively programmed to do, and they will do it. Not to say that happens every single time, and things happen all the time. Which I
really want some gentleman mantises get away.
Well, yes. Oh, indeed, yes.
Do you think they're happier if they get away?
I think
mantis that got away.
I think whatever level you're working on, you'd have to end up being happier, wouldn't you? I can't say that even the most simple life form would relish being scoffed.
No. Do you feel if things are going well here, that there's a happiness emanating from the totality of this colony?
Happiness is your word, not mine. I wouldn't say that. No. Again, you're putting too much into what's going on here.
So the monkeys were conscious, the lizard maybe, the ants. Sorry, Paul, I don't think so. But where do you draw the line?
It's got a lot to do with nervous systems, presumably it's got a lot to do with nervous systems getting big, but I'm not going to say that when a nervous system gets beyond a certain stage, it sort of goes critical and suddenly becomes conscious, or I don't know whether that happened, or I don't know whether worms are ever so slightly conscious.
When it gets beyond a certain stage, is this when it gets more and more complicated, more and more things added to it? There's a moment when
this could be one point of view that it's something that happens when nervous systems get beyond a certain magnitude of a sort of critical threshold.
So consciousness, I have a come and go feeling with it. Sometimes I feel like I know something of what it is, and then I doubt it. How do you?
Well, join the club. Yes, I quite agree. I mean, you can make all this story about complicated behaviour and how it needs brains to control it. Much more complicated than anything that I've talked about.
Yeah.
But you still find a hard time convincing yourself that it really has to be conscious, in the sense that the animal knows subjectively inside itself, as you know inside yourself and I know inside myself. You could imagine making a very, very complicated machine, computer, which behaved in all the ways that were necessary to survive in a very complicated environment, so that the animal never puts a